So I thought I would just mention here, a lot of this information actually came from Dr. Colby, who's a PhD, and he is a pharmacist. And I really love the fact that he has spent many decades working on researching supplements, how they're produced. He's worked at universities that actually study supplements. And some of the information, and again, just a few things are from him, I think is just a really crucial piece of what we all need to understand, just one piece about what we're putting in our bodies. So I think for the most part, we kind of have an idea that when we look at purchasing supplements, we oftentimes kind of look at it like, example, buying a car. And if you did that, you would look at the certain features that a car has, and maybe the supplement, you would do the same thing. But here's the big difference. If you were to buy a car, you're not going to pick the cheapest possible car you can find, because most likely it's not going to be what you're looking for. Whereas in supplements, I don't think people oftentimes even think about what's actually in it, because what they want is the cheapest thing possible. And there's a reason it's cheap. And hopefully some of the things that we walk through here tonight is going to kind of help you realize that there's a lot of important factors to look into, and a lot of dangers and adulteration of supplements that we need to know about. So some of these are a little bit older studies, but I feel like the validity of them is very true, where a lot of the studies you find today might not necessarily be coming from reliable sources. So I'm actually going to stop my share here really fast though, because I want to show you guys just this really quick video, because I think it really kind of helps to highlight some of the things that I want you to be thinking about, what we want to look at more in supplements and our understanding of what goes into them. So I'm going to play this short video here really quickly. It's only just under 2 minutes. So
Dina Cotter has been advising people about nutrition for more than 20 years. She says she's seen many cases of misuse of supplements.
People start to, take their own supplements without really checking if they really need it, or if it's something that would benefit them in any way.
A Consumer Reports investigation found many surprising dangers in vitamins and supplements, largely unregulated products. And moreover, there's increasing evidence there may be few, if any, benefits.
There was a study published in June that showed that calcium supplements increased the risk of heart attacks by 86% compared to the group that didn't get them. On the other hand, that same study showed that eating calcium-rich foods can protect your heart.
A recent study of antioxidant supplements showed that high doses of some may increase cancer risk and not reduce it.
Even more troubling, some supplements have turned out to contain prescription drugs like Viagra or Cialis that were not on the label.
The FDA says supplements spiked with prescription drugs are the largest threat to consumer safety. There have been more than 400 recalls of such products since 2008.
Even with uncontaminated vitamins and minerals, the labels don't tell the whole story, because generally the FDA doesn't require manufacturers to include warning labels.
When Consumer Reports checked out the labels on more than 200 bottles of supplements, it found just 1 in 3 listed possible adverse reactions.
In some cases, the risks of supplements can outweigh the benefits.
all right, guys, I'm going to stop it right there, because I think that a lot of the things that she just said are crucial to this topic. So if you guys were kind of paying attention to some of those key points, that the lack of regulations, the fact that there are so many now unknown risks of supplements, and even what's going into supplements that we don't even know are in there. So again, some of these other studies, which I'm going to show you here in a second, it's crazy to think that we would ever have to worry about things like even Prozac and diuretics are some of the biggest things that are added to our supplements. And we think that just because, again, we purchase it at the store, that it's going to be safe. Now, one of the biggest areas that supplements are purchased for is actually weight loss. And this study here that hopefully you guys can see on my screen, okay? Unsafe drugs and supplements, that these are for weight loss. And when you look at weight loss supplements, the key contributing factor to most of them is generally using stimulants, because it will help to raise metabolism. And when you look at this study here, that over 25% of weight loss supplements had been changed or altered and contain this drug called sibutramine, which when you look at how this is listed on the label, the crazy thing is the side effects of this are actually caused things like heart attacks, strokes, and the amount that's listed on there is actually not what was found in the products. And again, they knew this was safe, but yet it's still allowed. And this is just one example of a popular, again, topic, which is weight loss. So, and here's just, there's a whole bunch of them of how to, when you purchase a supplement, what they're finding is the amount of the ingredient that's listed is not even close to the amount that's actually in the products. You can see here, these were ginseng products, and the concentration of the ginseng in the products, note this percentage here, it had anywhere from 11% to 327%. What was listed on the label was 8% ginseng. So if you have no clue the percentage, again, natural does not mean safe. This is where the testing becomes so critical to helping with understanding of what is actually in your product. Now, here's another one that is very popular is a lot of sports products. And again, some of the things that you see in there are generally things like caffeine, which caffeine in a small amount is definitely considered to be safe. But when you look at the percentage of what's actually in there, that we have no idea the initial amount that was put in there to the time that the person actually took the supplement. Why is that? Because many companies will test at the beginning of production and not afterwards. So that is why we choose, most of us, have learned the differences in understanding what goes into products and why you need to be testing, not just before, but also during, after, to make sure what's actually in the product at the beginning is guaranteed to be the same effectiveness at the end. So just, a few great tips here of, why we chose to look at something like Shaklee. And I think that there's a lot of different cases out there of companies that are very good at making products seem very exciting and make them basically offer marketing look like they are going to do amazing things. But it is the long-term effectiveness. They're not using ingredients that are actually pure and are proven. So anytime you are looking at a supplement and what you're putting into the body, make sure it has third-party studies. We cannot emphasize that enough. So I wanted to show this study here really fast because this is an older one, and I just screenshotted this to put this up for you guys because I think that this one is really one of the most powerful ones that I've ever seen. And actually, when I first started Shaklee, this one was one of the things that someone had showed me, and I still kept it because I thought of the importance of this. But what this is directly from the FDA. I only screenshot a few of these pages, but I'm going to show you guys how big this list is. These are women's, prenatals, and kids vitamins that have been shown to have lead in them. Now, the amount of lead allowed in a vitamin is actually not disclosed because lead is considered natural. So you are allowed to have lead in supplements and it does not have to be listed on the label. So this is what the FDA has found is allowed in, again, prenatal and kids vitamins, which are the primary time that there is no reason lead should ever be allowed in any of those supplements. So if you go through and look at some of these things here, these are just some of the brands, guys. And again, I think that you'd recommend, many of these products we would, is if not knowing about what the difference between supplements, but you'll see, things like Flintstones. How many people do we know use gummy vitamins? Another very popular brand on here is Cal Enhanced. Yep, if you guys are reading through here, GNC, I mean, that's one of the most popular probably places people go to buy their supplements, not knowing the difference between synthetic and natural. Again, just continuing to flip through here. Metagenics is a popular one. They're prenatal. We've got Nature's Plus. We've got Nature's Way, which is in many health food stores. And again, this was just a few of the pages, guys. And I just think that, the studies are here. This isn't anything made up. This isn't data that's not been proven. And we need to know what's important and what to look for in our supplements and know that everything that is backed behind the product is by science. And again, not just testimonials, but actually the data behind it. I thought this was interesting that I was looking through some of the different research that was out there, and they had a great study that was actually done from the European Union, the EU. And what they did is they took supplements that were both domestic and imported. So not just in the US, but this was worldwide. And let's see if you guys can guess what the #1 country was that had the highest rate of adulterated products that were being sent to the European Union. Any guess on what was the #1 country?
Probably United States.
You got it, Judy. Good guess. See, my first inkling would be China. I mean, I would automatically assume because they have way less regulations generally than we do, but they actually found the United States on average had a 40% higher rate in adulteration than China. So, you know, we think that, again, supplements should be something that should be safe and be building health. But if we listen to that little consumer's report, they are saying how it could actually be harming our health versus helping. And that's why we really need to know what the differences are. And if you go to the internet and you think you're buying supplements that are good, you have no clue. Somebody's putting on a label on a product that you have no idea if what's in there is active, if it's clean, it is an herb that has been tested, if it has multiple herbs that have been tested together, what happens when they're combined. So all just, I think, very important things to be noting that we need to look at where we're buying our supplements from. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here again real fast because I also wanted to show you guys, I thought this was a really good thing to let you guys know that there are going to be some changes coming up here, which is exciting. But there is a little, I just happened to come across this. So if you guys want to go ahead and watch this on your own, feel free to. But there is a great thing that the FDA is actually going to be changing here, what is going to be found on supplements. I cannot get this darn screen to go away here. Change screens here. But on the regulations on supplements, there's a whole new thing here. That's because I have too many windows open again. I am famous for this. Let's see if I can get to the right one. All right. Can you guys see that screen of the Consumer's Reports up again?
Yep.
You can. Okay, thanks. All right. So on Shaklee.tv, there's about a 15-minute video that would be very helpful for you guys. If you'd like to on your own time, go ahead and watch this because Shaklee is going to be changing their labels, but they are at least trying to create a few more regulations. And the great thing is that we know Shaklee products are actually above FDA regulations, but there are going to be some changes to our labeling. So I wanted you guys to mention this, that you really should go to this and learn more about some of the regulations and some of the things that are important to note when you are looking at supplements. So again, this is just on Shaklee TV that you can go in here and look this video up. It's a brand new one that just got put up there actually. Wow, today I'm on it. So it's a brand new one. Didn't even look at the date on that. So check that out and definitely, just take note of some of the things on there that, again, will be changing. So the last thing I want to share here really fast is because I think that this does a great job of highlighting. If some of you have not seen this, very short, only 2 minutes, but this is a very powerful, I think, way of showing what we need to look for, why Shaklee is different, and understanding the standards. So again, less than 2 minutes, but we're going to play this here real fast.
At Shaklee, we provide a healthier life for everyone and a better life for anyone. We're driven by science, not fads, to create products that are safe for people and the planet. Products that are proven, not just in the lab, but in the real world. Products backed by the strongest guarantee. We can make that guarantee because we're obsessive about quality, conducting over 100,000 quality tests annually to ensure our products are safe.
Before we approve any new botanical ingredient, we screen it for up to 350 pesticide residues.
In addition, we screen for many other contaminants, including heavy metals, residual solvents, evidence of irradiation, and microbial contamination.
It's a lot, but that's what it takes to guarantee our products are safe.
And our products are proven by science and millions of people.
In the landmark study of long-term supplement use, researchers from the University of California at Berkeley showed that people who use Shaklee supplements had markedly better health than those who used no supplements at all. For example, the study found that Shaklee supplement users had improved biomarkers related to heart health, cardiovascular health, cognitive health, and biological stress.
In my nearly 40 years at Shaklee, I've seen everyone from elite athletes training for world-class events, like the Daedalus Project athletes, to astronauts pushing their physical limits and boundaries in space. But the most satisfying is working with the generations of families who use and continue to trust Shaklee products because they're safe and because they work.
We're so confident you'll feel the Shaklee difference. We offer a 100% money-back guarantee. It's that simple. Safe, proven, guaranteed. That's the Shaklee difference.
So I think that leads into here a great kind of closing, you know, again, just kind of helping us to really be excited about what we have with Shaklee and the understanding that, you know, we can be proud of everything that they stand for, from their mission to what they're looking for in the future, and some of the changes that they have continued to implement. It's only improving. But they mentioned on there something about the, if you guys were listening, the Olympic athlete, that little piece there. And I know that a lot of you are familiar with Eli Bramer, and when he actually came here and spoke, I really liked the story about how he was sharing that, you know, with Olympians, that is by far like the highest standard of where we have to look at competition and using clean products. And when he was talking about that, he had mentioned that any Olympian can be randomly drug tested at any time, day or night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and how it's very crucial for Olympians to be using products that oftentimes, you know, are above even what they would consider to be clean. So he did say that there are many Olympians out there that they won't even take supplements because of the risk. If they found any contaminant in their bloodstream, they're out for 2 years for competing. And that basically for many of them could be their entire career. So the fact that we have so many Olympians using Shaklee, it's another just, I believe, standard of excellence, and that we know that we don't have to worry about safety, guys. So when you're talking to people that are using supplements, we really need to share with them that just because they're taking vitamins doesn't mean they're healthy, and it doesn't mean their products are working. So encourage people to look, does it have third-party testing? Does it actually have the clinical studies? And how do they feel? That's a great question. Many people notice no difference. And again, that little video, they were saying how, yes, it's backed by science, but it's also proven by people. And I think every one of us on here would definitely probably say, we know the difference, and that's why we support Shaklee. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna open up to questions here real fast, or anything you guys would like to add?
Amanda, that drug testing is actually trickling down further and further into youth sports too. When we went to Texas for Grace's skating, we were notified that she could be asked to have a drug test. So like it's going down lower and lower now.
Interesting. Wow, that's crazy. I believe it though. Younger and younger, they're starting to use, you know, so many products that definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Do you know where Shaklee product is produced?
Different places, Chris. Some's in the U.S., depends on the product. Like Nutriferon has an ingredient that comes from Japan. You know, it's all the same standards, but ingredients come from different places for sure. Good question. All right, but it doesn't matter where it comes from. It does receive the same testing. So that's the great thing, is we don't have to worry that it is coming from somewhere else, because yeah, they create testing across the board. Everything is the same for every product. And again, I always do highlight that I think it's pretty special that as long as Shaklee's been around, I mean, it started in 1956. If you guys do Google Shaklee, if they've ever had any claim that hasn't been supported, they have none. They have never had a false claim made about any of their products, and that's because they got science to back it up. So that's I think a very special thing to highlight also. So, and I was also, when I was doing a little bit more research into this, it was kind of interesting to also hear the types of scientists that they hire to actually test our products. A lot of companies, their scientists are not even actually a degree in science. They just randomly choose people that then test their products, and that's what they're paid to do. Where Shaklee scientists actually have PhDs in this, and they use those studies, and that's the quality that they have to put those into peer-reviewed medical journal studies has to be a very high-level scientist in order to do that. So it's kind of interesting to note that too, that they go above and beyond. So, All right, good. Any other questions, guys, or anything to add?
I just have something. If anybody's interested, there's a series on Netflix, and it's called Broken, and it exposes the corruption of consumer industries. And just what you were talking, I've only watched the first couple of episodes, but the first one was what they put in cosmetics to make them, how they scam the top name brand cosmetics, they change up something of the packaging, just to make it look like someone's buying the real stuff. But then what they were they were testing what's inside the cosmetics, and it was mind blowing what they put in there just to get it packaged and sold. I mean, like horse urine, or cement, just to put that stuff on your face. It was unbelievable. But what you're talking about, what you have to look what's inside your supplements, and this just blew me away. And I'm only on episode 2, but there's like 10 of them. But it's just amazing what people do to sell something.
And thanks for bringing that up, Judy. I really do think, yes, that there are some great documentaries on this topic, and there are just, it really blows your mind the more you learn. So education, key. Mm-hmm. So thanks. I will definitely check that out too. So thanks for sharing that. That's great. Good, guys. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording here.